Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. Geeky Sparkles is sending this video out. She's out and about today, but we have to talk about the Marvels again because Disney has apparently just given up on this movie. It's only been out in the theaters for what, like 4 weeks? 4 weeks. After a month, Disney has given up on the Marvels. It has dropped off of the top 10 list at the box office. They're not even going to report the international numbers anymore. This is a huge L for Disney. I mean, this is massive. To have this happen to a Marvel movie is just completely unthinkable, or would have been unthinkable a couple of years ago. But you know, for those of us who have been watching the rapid decline in quality in Disney products, whether it's Marvel or their animation, or especially Star Wars, it's not really a shock that this is where we're at, right? I mean, some of us would like to see Marvel come back. They would, you know, some of us would like to see Marvel, rebuild back better, build back better, see it return to its glory days. Some people just want to watch it burn. You know, even the people, though, that have been shilling very hard for Marvel are turning on Disney at this point. They're like, something is broken. Something is absolutely broken at Disney. And that's not just Marvel. It's also animation. It's also Star Wars. It's also their live action movies. I mean, everything that Disney puts out, with the exception of Guardians of the Galaxy this year, has been a failure. It's been a complete failure. So let's talk about that failure here on Clownfish TV. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. No woohoos today. Geeky's sitting this video out. But yeah, the Marvels, after 4 weeks, has plummeted to number 11. It's being beaten by Silent Night, The Shift, Animal. These are all like indie movies. The Shift from Angel Studios, right? Beaten by that. Godzilla -1, stomping all over it. At number 3, and that's in limited theatrical release. And Beyonce was Beyonce's concert film, I guess. Is it a concert film? I don't know. Is number 1. Yeah, not good. So let's go out to the story here. The Marvels ends, and they should add embarrassing. The Marvels ends box office run as lowest grossing MCU movie in history, and Disney is giving up on it. There's nothing heroic about the final box office performance of The Marvels. The superhero sequel is officially the lowest grossing installment in the history of the MCU, or MCU if you would prefer. You're allowed to say that now. Even mainstream media outlets are picking up on the phrase that I think Gary from Nerdrotic coined. After 4 weeks on the big screen, the comic book tentpole is running out of steam with $80 million in North America and $197 million globally, under $200 million globally. This is what they thought was going to do opening weekend, guys, just in the US. There would typically be optimism that attendance could rebound over the busy holiday season, but Disney apparently doesn't expect that to be the case because it won't be reporting the film's weekend box office results any longer. The studio wrote on Sunday in a note to press, with the Marvel's box office now winding down, we will stop weekend reporting of international and global grosses on this title. That's how badly this has failed. They're just done reporting it. They're like, this one was a huge, massive failure. Is it going to be on Disney Plus in time for Christmas? I have to wonder. The film isn't leaving theaters yet, and the $220 million plus budgeted tentpole is expected to play through New Year's. Okay. However, this memo signals that The Marvels is not expected to generate notable coinage throughout the rest of December. Over the weekend, the movie tumbled to 11th place on box office charts with just $2.4 million in its 4th weekend. The Marvels opened on November 10th with $46 million domestic to land in the worst debut slot in the MCU history. The franchise's rare misfire out of the gate. Well, I don't know. It's been more and more common, hasn't it? Ant-Man didn't do very well either, but no one could have foreseen the failure of the Marvels, except for like everybody on YouTube. But, you know, the mainstream media ignored those people. They're like, it's just a bunch of bigots and misogynists. They don't know what they're talking about. Everybody loves Carol Danvers. Sure they do. Things only got gloomier. Ticket sales cratered by 78%. Ticket sales cratered 78% in its second week. It made the record for the biggest second weekend drop of the series. Now, as the film nears the end of its theatrical run after only 4 weeks, box office revenues won't top 2008 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which, like, everybody forgets that movie existed. The Edward Norton Hulk movie, they forget it existed. And yeah, 264 million, not adjusted for inflation. So probably be like 300, 325 now, I'm guessing. That previously stood as the lowest grossing entry. This degree of disappointment is unusual because Marvel is the most commercially successful film franchise of all time. Disney is very, very good at destroying successful things that other people created. Again, see Star Wars. See Pixar. You know what I'm saying? Look at Power Rangers back in the... Hell, I don't even think Power Rangers failed as badly as this. Like, I don't know what the criteria was back then, but Disney did sell Power Rangers back to Haim Saban. Fans were kind of split on what they thought about it, but overall, it seemed like the toys sold well and people were still watching the shows. They just weren't making enough money, as I understand it. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so Ant-Man and the Wasp managed to generate 214 domestic and 476 worldwide. Does help that they have, wait, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Cuntomania. Am I reading this correctly? Canutomania managed to generate 214 million domestic and 476 worldwide. They do have rides overseas, though, too. That helps, right? Directed by Nia DaCosta, who got thrown under the fucking wheels of the bus. The live-action adventure spotlights a trio of spandex heroes from the Disney Plus shows, basically. The Marvels is the first Marvel film that failed to cross the 100 million mark at the domestic box office. That is insane. Most Marvel movies make more than that opening weekend, domestic. It hasn't even hit $100 million domestic. They thought it was going to do 70 to 80 easy opening weekend. And everybody's like, it's going to do fine, guys. It's going to do fantastic. No. And Disney has to reevaluate every damn thing they're doing at this point. Because if they're not going to, Ike Perlmutter's waiting. Ike Perlmutter is waiting for them. And his friend Nelson Peltz, they're waiting to give them a talking to because Perlmutter is going to be like, I told you so. I told you so. I told you this wasn't going to work, and you guys didn't listen to me. You fired me. And I told you so. Everything you've been doing in Phase 4 has been failing, and I told you so. And, man, I wish you could get that on video. I told you so. Disney CEO Bob Iger has addressed the movie's poor theatrical performance, suggesting that pandemic-related production restrictions ended up plaguing the final result. The Marvels was shot during COVID. There wasn't as much supervision on the set. Translation, Nia DaCosta didn't know what she was doing, and we needed more people there to micromanage her. So where we have executives are really looking over what's being done day after day after day after day. Yes, which is a huge complaint that a lot of directors have had about Marvel. It's basically the Marvel movies are not their movies, that there's a lot of editorial interference. I really think that Victoria Alonso had a lot of input into this one, and she got gone, didn't she? Iger's excuses continue. He added that the studio's prior streak of billion-dollar behemoths has thrown off expectations about the potential of its movies. People expect the movies to break even, Bob. This one's not even going to break even. I mean, have any of their movies this year, short of Guardians 3, have they broken even? I think they've lost money on literally everything they put in the theater. And I'm sure they've lost a shit ton of money on Disney Plus shows. Like, you broke it. You broke Marvel, you broke Star Wars, you broke Pixar, you even broke your own brand. Wish was a massive failure. I mean, here's the headline from Newsweek. Disney gives up on the Marvels. They gave up on Wish, too. We could just shorten that headline. Disney gives up. Disney gives up. They are giving up. They're giving up the ghost. Everything they have put out has been dog shit that has lost them money. Now, okay, that's a little harsh. Some of the movies they put out were surprisingly not that bad. I actually like the Haunted Mansion movie. I didn't have any expectations for it, though, so you know what I'm saying? But they pretty much lost money on everything they put out this year, okay? Investors are going to be pissed. They're going to be asking questions. Nelson Peltz is waiting for you. Ike Perlmutter is waiting for you. Right? He's definitely waiting because I think Bob Iger needs to go. I think they need to gut Disney top to bottom. The problem is you can't turn this ship around now. You know, you've already hit the iceberg. You're taking on water. If only your consumers and internet pundits had warned you years ahead of time that this was going to happen. All the mistakes that were made in the comic books, that where you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, are now being made in the movies where you're losing hundreds of millions of dollars. And you could have looked at that. You could have looked at like, hey, this Captain Marvel character, this Ms. Marvel character, yeah, obviously not very popular because the books keep getting canceled. And the video game starring Ms. Marvel, yeah, that thing lost Square a lot of money. Maybe doing a movie based on this character isn't a good idea. We can give her a TV show, but maybe making a movie based on characters that keep getting canceled in the comic books, not a good idea. Obviously, not a lot of demand there, right? But no, just it's, you know, blame the biggest. Blame the men, the 65% of your audience. 65% of the audience that went to go see the Marvels were men, and a good portion of them were white men. So you can't blame them either, Bob. So now we're going to blame the pandemic, which is like 2 years plus past in the rearview mirror. Other people got movies done during the pandemic, Bob, and they did fine. Barbie and Oppenheimer and Spider-Verse and so many other movies that are coming out. Mario got done during the pandemic. But yeah, you gotta find an excuse, right? You can't admit that Disney doesn't know what the fuck it's doing anymore. Somebody needs to take the keys away. And I'm hoping Nelson Peltz / Ike Perlmutter come in and affect some change and get the keys taken away. Because clearly the people running Disney right now have no fucking idea what they're doing. None whatsoever on any level. It's not just Marvel. It's everything. So good luck with that. I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.